The feelings I kept deep inside are now screaming at the top of their lungs, trying to voice our now infinite vow. I've wandered all my life, relying on a whim, and that has led me astray. Light has become my foe, defying everything while my future fades away. Tonight the moon invites me to the night sky, but my lips hesitate to voice a reply. But even so, I'm screaming from the depths of my heart. The feelings I kept deep inside are now screaming at the top of their lungs, trying to voice our now infinite vow. The strength has brought me this far, but if I only had a little more, my aim would be an endless blue sky gone by, no limitations at all. And when tomorrow reaches out once again, I'll hear its beckoning call. I'll listen to my heart whenever I'm in doubt, since it's never skipped a beat. While searching for our dreams, I'll never miss a step, because you're guiding my feet. Tonight the light that's shining in the night sky fills me with pain, because I know I can't fly. But even so, I'm still yearning from the depths of my heart. The world that was so dark around me has been transformed by pure blinding light, always and forever shining on me. You need a dreamer's heart in order to find the sky that's waiting for you. And when the doubt inside is fading away, the sky will open for you. Inside my heart and memory you linger. I'll never let this chance slip through my fingers. You give me strength, so if I feel I can't break through, I'll think of you. If somehow light becomes your foe when you're once again immersed in the dark, know that the love in your heart knows the way. The feelings I kept deep inside will call destiny to home in the skies. And as the heavens call out, I know I'll find the path that leads me. The feelings I kept deep inside are now screaming at the top of their lungs, trying to voice our now infinite vow. Your strength has brought me this far, but if I only had a little more, my aim would be an endless blue sky gone by, no limitations at all. And when tomorrow reaches out once again, I'll hear its beckoning call. Somehow I've gone and lost my way. All this time I've led myself astray, but following your blinding light and fragile footsteps, the lost within a guideless haze, looking for a way out of this maze. I'll never let a soul regret was never right for the hero type of role. I admit, with my heart shivering in fear, I can see today's reflected in each past year. Even so, it has been calling the heavens to me, but I cannot hide all the emptiness inside my fleeting heart. Once a night dreams I rose and soared. No matter how I knocked around or beat and down, I will stand up restored. All of my love has yet to wake. I know your strength is what I lack. You've got my back and know that I've got yours. I have you to thank for lighting up the dark. Because you're here with me, our dreams will soar free forever. I wanna always be with you. I'll give you everything I have. I could never find light to guide me through the night, and with one touch, I recall every memory, all too precious to not hold them all close to me. It's tempting to close your eyes and turn from the world, but it's bittersweet, like you've somehow missed a beat. With no restart, when every wish has
But yeah, so Shark, for the last few months, I've been sleeping upstairs and the AC's broken.
Oh,
So
that is rough.
I get to enjoy 88 degrees plus humidity upstairs.
Just right. Oh. Alright guys, welcome back to a new episode of the Sword Art Podcast. I think you've noticed a couple differences in today's general, routine. So today we have special guest Itzal, and it's about time we welcome him to the podcast after the couple of failed attempts previously. and, and my co-host today is actually Hestia.
What's up, people? How you doing?
Welcome to the podcast, guys.
Thanks for welcoming us to the podcast, Zach. How's your day going so far?
Oh, pretty cool. Got a little bit cold from overnight because our stupid janitorial staff turned on the air conditioning because it was pretty warm last week, and now it's pretty cold and I don't have heat. So I've resorted to my nice cup of coffee with my Baileys, and it's gonna be a good day.
You have no jacket or anything to keep you warm?
I've got my Chicago Cubs World Series championship sweatshirt on. The sweet taste of victory. So, how are you guys today?
I'm doing pretty good. Woke up about 6 a.m. and watched YouTube to the podcast earlier. I need something to wake me up.
Solid.
I am not a morning person, but this is worth it.
Yeah, I'm not a morning person either. I was walking zombie this morning, so.
I can attest this, he was.
So, on today's agenda, we've got quite a bit to discuss, won't you say?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a lot.
Yes.
So, we're going to run through quests and events and floors and, all that good mumbo-jumbo. So, let's say we get right into it and not waste any time. So, Itzal, you want to talk about any of the new upcoming quests or events?
Yeah, so, well, the first quest that's on the list is a quest called Venom King. And essentially, what it's supposed to be is, it's basically taking the mutation quests, like the Queen Bee being mutated, the Sand Shark being mutated, Avalanche, those quests, and basically creating a story to it, like kind of explaining how they're getting mutated and then putting an end cap on it, ending that series with this quest. And it's obviously going to be the hardest quest. So
Yeah, the prerequisites to doing the Venom King is that you have to do all the previous ones. Absolute Zero, Bloodstained Land, Return of the Queen. You have to do all those first before you can do this quest.
Wow, sounds like it'll be pretty fun, though.
yeah.
Hopefully. That's kind of the hope.
So I know
I've been told that all the bosses that I make are very, very dangerous.
You like to make them a challenge, yeah.
So you always gotta stay prepared with this guy. Never know what he's gonna do with the bosses.
Yeah, pretty much.
That little devil.
I will say, for the reward, I'm not going to tell you what the reward does, but it's a very unique reward, and it's a one-time consumable. So, I think players will like what they get. It's a pretty cool one. So.
Nice. So I know you were talking about revamping Calling the Soul and Gemini.
Yes.
So what's going on with that?
Well, essentially, we wanted to connect the Gemini and Calming the Soul in some way and add more lore to the sixth floor. And so I talked it over with a lot of staff, and we came up with a way to do it. We're adding a new quest, and we're revamping the previous ones, adding more lore and adding more role play to it. So depending on what your character reacts to, will also determine what happens in the boss fight.
All right, that's actually pretty cool. Gives a little bit more change to
Yeah.
the fight. Anything to add on that, Hestia?
Besides the fact from what I've been able to see from the latest amounts of quests, they seem to be focusing more on the RP side of things more so than the numbers and go kill a thing kind of ideology slash mentality of things.
All right. So what about what about this new upcoming event, the Fallen?
Oh yeah.
You want to tease any of that?
Okay. I'm not gonna spoil anything, but I will say this. There's going to be interaction between NPCs and the boss and players. That's a definite. Choices matter. You're going to be presented with choices in the roleplay. Depending on what you choose, will alter the entire fight. So be
All right.
careful on that.
That's actually pretty cool.
Yes, it's gonna be nice.
So, are you gonna try and take it right away, or are you gonna wait a little bit and make sure people are running through it correct?
We're doing some final touches on it, so just hang in there. Once it's done, we'll give an announcement, give players time to prepare, and do prepare. Make sure you get as many buffs, teleport crystals you can.
Keep in
Because
mind, this is a
Yeah.
boss created by Itzal, the guy who
hey,
says
no. Actually, Morgenstern did the stats.
Oh, we did?
Morgenstern did the stats. I helped with the abilities. Yeah, this was originally a project between Morgenstern and I. So
Okay.
credit to him as well.
Well, that definitely looks like it's gonna be a challenge and a lot of fun. So I'm sure people will take a liking to that event.
If I may, since we talk about quests and such, we did get a new floor unlocked and such, so there is a new quest out and about in the world now.
Yeah.
And
The very first one that we have would be the quest called Uzgeek the Mighty, which is a quest that's basically the mob is a green beast looking about in the area called the Underdark of the floor. The floor is currently being split into like two parts. There's the Underdark, which is the Dark Elves, and they have the little entire spanned out city and all that. And up above is the area, just like all the nature plays of it. But from the players who will get out of the Underdark, there's be a total wasteland around them, with this tower in the center of that wasteland. So think about a good long walk area where you start seeing nature of any kind.
nice. So that'll actually be a lot of fun with that new floor.
Yeah.
And speaking of new floors, do you guys want to highlight anything if with 23?
Besides myself, I just want to like to mention the other quest that was created by people on the staff called Escaping the Underdark.
Okay, go
It's
go ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's basically a two-part quest, and it's all about they find like the forest elf like knocked unconscious and such, and they have the option of it's all very based on roles of like if you can help save her or not and get out, and depending on what ends up happening, either the forest elf, no, the dark elf dying or living, that would kind of determine if the next quest can be opened or not. And the rewards have changed. Like if you manage to die, that's a little bit more SP and coal. That's good. You fight some things alongside that. And but if you manage to live, less SP and coal, but you get the next quest unlocked, which can offer more. So it's like the idea of which one do you want, and can you do it?
All right, that actually does seem pretty cool. So moving on, unless you have anything left to mention on quests or events.
I don't think so, really.
Nope. Nothing else really.
All right, so we're gonna move on to floors. Speaking of that, raid was just wrapped up not too long ago. What anything to highlight with 423?
Well, as I said, the floor is split into two different parts, which I believe is an entirely new thing for just the floors in general, having like two separate areas entirely. That like day and night basically.
Yeah.
That's like an interesting like new thing that's been turned in. And for the most part, for floor 23, in terms of the mob, there's something called the unique mob, which is like kind of unique to the floor. I mean, I think it's the idea of it. And there's Crazed Beastman, which is like obviously a humanoid being with like bestial like nature in them, like looking like a animal as such, or like having that bestial strength to them.
All right.
Yeah.
And what about the different themes or whatnot?
As I
You wanna
said,
talk about those?
In terms of themes, as I said, the Underdark is obviously the Dark Elves home and all that. And I think players most recognize that idea from D&D, because that's the actual close enough to the name, like the general idea of it.
Yeah.
Was like, yeah.
Yes.
And
That's-
there's
that's-
yeah. Want to talk about that, Itzal? Do you know about that?
I was just saying that was something that shout out to me as well. I saw that, I'm like, this is straight out of D&D.
Hey, sometimes the best things come from D&D.
Yes.
Oh yeah, definitely.
As a
On the-
wise man once quoted, as a wise man once said, nothing is new under the sun.
Little sidebar regarding D&D. You guys get a have you either of you played it?
Yes.
See, yes. In fact, I have a campaign going right now with my guild mates, which is a lot of fun.
Okay.
And I'm planning to DM first edition, so
Nice.
just trying
So
to find people to do it.
I've got a group here with me at school that we play on the 5th edition, and we just finished this quest. Well, at the start of this quest, this town was surrounded by fog, and one of my dumb teammates was like, "I want to go into the fog." So he goes into the fog, and then next thing you know, he comes back and he's like one health point left because the fog was just kind of choking him out. So fast forward a little bit, we're in this house, and he opens a door just to like check what's in it. Oh, there's a broomstick. He's like, I'm gonna take it. He tries to take the broomstick, it comes alive and beats him half to death. So now, yeah, the fog almost choked him out, and the broomstick almost beat him to death. So that we were just trying not to laugh so hard. And then he's walking down a hall, and a specter attacks him, and almost kills him. Or no, the specter does kill him.
Well,
Luckily,
A
our cleric was able to stabilize him and save his life. So
A friend of mine had
I'm
convinced
having one bad day.
a friend of mine had convinced the last boss of a quest line in D&D, which was a 2-story high cyborg monster, that he was its father, and it followed him from that point on.
I think it's part of the beauty of D&D, though. Like, you just have those crazy moments of like, okay, this is happening now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh man.
The ones that
funny.
are being the most charismatic person in the party, you get what you want.
Yes, pretty much.
Oh yeah, themes of the floor. That's what we were talking about.
yeah,
Yeah.
we were. Let's get back to that.
Okay. As I said, then we have the top part of the area, which is basically used to be like the more nature side of things, where forest elves could just have lived their lives peacefully. Try to have that harmony with the dark elves before something happened, and you basically will not find like actual settlements unless you walked a very long way to a point of interest called the Vale of Ruin. We basically just find these rundown sacks and houses full of basically the remnants of the elves and like impure half elves, stuff like that.
Okay. Nice. Sounds like a lot of fun. So there's going to be a lot to explore and look at once you're on 23.
Yeah.
So going on, I know that the boss for 23 has been in the works, but is there anything special kind of like leading up that people should watch out for?
I think I must know because I do talk with Tan a lot about these things, and he's having a blast making the boss.
That's a need for concern. So
Maybe.
that's all. If someone's having a blast making a boss, you probably might want to be prepared.
I mean, think about it this way: it won't be a Tesla.
Oh jeez, let's hope it's not
Like-
a rock again.
I saw that. I went back and looked over every single boss that we've ever had. Rock had freaking 4 accuracy, 4 evasion, high health, high damage, and it's like, jeez. They made
That's
it
how
work.
people like Azai died.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that was not a fun boss. That was just a dangerous boss.
Oh. Was that back in the days of the old striking days where you were role playing on site? Or was that too new for you?
That was still too new for me.
Actually, I'm curious.
Well-
When was the last boss you like actually participated in?
Floor 6.
Oh,
Didn't
gosh.
land a hit, and Shark went mentally insane. The entire fight,
Wow.
miss. The RNGesus was not with me. So at that point, Shark was like, you know what, I'm just done. And so he kind of like vanished, never to be seen again.
You became a mountain hermit in some floor we don't know about anymore.
Yeah, I'm
That's
the
good,
Ben
I'm
Kenobi to SAO-RPG.
Well,
Okay,
speaking of bosses, I've been sending an idea around staff for a while now, and the idea was to try to shape bosses to be more dangerous, but not last as freaking long as Tesla. So they could be
Oh
like,
god, no.
yeah, no. So it could be like 3-4 pages, maybe, but like it wouldn't be like a long fight, but it would be a dangerous one.
Yeah.
And that's the whole point. Is there was another staff member. They told me that our goal was not to make them our goal was not to kill players, and like that's the whole point of the bosses. Though they're supposed to be the strongest, most dangerous thing you fight.
Right.
So I feel like we should add a little bit more to the danger aspect because it is SAO. There's a reason you have a teleport crystal.
And there's a
Yeah.
reason the teleport crystals don't work on the higher floors. Get screwed by staff. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you can't be
Flutter-
screwed if you know it's coming.
Exactly.
Oh, on the contrary.
Yeah. In terms of floor 23 boss fight, the news is Sealed, Beat, and I managed to find the field boss, kill it, and get the boss information. So,
You
in terms
have
of
to-
like sort of information that would be known to players when the meeting actually starts happening, which is on delay because Sealed's computer is broken at the moment, so that's sad.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
But the general information that the players will find is that in terms of the boss room, there are 5 items laid onto a table with 5 chairs, and inside the boss room is a corpse hanging called "Long Live the" had the words "Long Live the Queen" above it.
That's
Yeah.
a interesting turn of events.
So players can interpret that as they may, and we'll find out what happens in terms of the boss raid meeting, see what the general consensus will end up being.
Yeah, that will be interesting.
Yeah.
So we do have Percival on the monthly donations, so I still want to give my thanks to Perce and all the support that they give us, and continue that, hoping that will continue.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Thank you,
there are a plethora of good awards and such if you do donate, and if you do want to donate, please check out the donation thread that's in the announcements on the index page.
Yeah. Play nice rewards. You get a free house, you get free maps, some nice things. It's pretty nice.
and free SP.
Ooh.
Yep. Well, a free SP boost rather.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the UE graces.
But no, there's a lot to benefit from that. So definitely check it out if you're even the slightest bit interested, and if you don't want to, that's fine. We're not going to force you. But everything mainly has been paid out of pocket by Erroneous, and the donations are a way to help cover site costs from the people who use it instead of him paying for everything. Just kind of a nice way to give back to the site. Make sure we keep running for days to come.
If I had money, I'd still be giving.
Well, half the reason we switched to the Envision Powerboard services was because back in the day, Sykes and I were competing to see who could donate the most money. It was a tie. We were like, you know what? We'll call it even. But so yeah, we definitely have not regretted that decision because I love just how IPS looks, and it's very fitting for our community.
Okay.
So moving on, boss room was found, and the meeting was pushed back. So let's go right into update on the 7 Wonders of Aincrad. Itzal, your little pet project?
I wouldn't say it's my pet project. Wait, oh wait, the 7 Wonders of Aincrad. Okay,
Yeah.
Oh, you know, that's Hestia and I. This is both
Yeah.
our project, so.
Okay, yeah.
That's
Why
our
don't you give us
project.
why don't you give us an update on that?
You want to take the lead, or should
I'll
I?
I'll do it.
Alright.
Because of the actual 7 wonders, there have not been worked on that much because we've been focusing more so on the mysteries of all the floors. And that's quite a bit of a work, honestly, because we got like 23 floors, almost 24, probably in a month or two. So that's yeah. It's like the simple go kill a thing. It's actually RP things out and try to figure out the mystery via what we're trying to do, give an idea of what it's supposed to be. And some of these mysteries honestly do lead into quests sometimes. Not all the time, just sometimes. We think it's possible it could make for an interesting story to continue on this mystery. While the actual wonders themselves, they're not meant to be given an answer to. Like something that's meant to be discussed about, like have a nice chat about maybe, try to figure out what would be the player's definitive answer in their mind for what ends up what they think the answer would be.
The main issue with the Wonders is trying to come up with something that's big enough to be considered a wonder of Aincrad. Because Aincrad is full of all sorts of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
So the main issue is just coming up with something big enough and important enough to actually make it a wonder.
Nice. Yeah, this is definitely going to be a project we keep tabs on going forth, as it's going to be very interesting to see how it turns out. So anything else you want to touch on that before we move on?
I think that's it. Although I will say that the Venom King and one of their quests came from these, because when we started out, we realized that we were making them a little too quest-like. So
Yeah, and thus spawned like 2 quests, maybe. There's a lot of monster things, so we just like scrapped that and made the ones that could be interesting enough to be a good quest into quests. We hope they come out and players will enjoy them.
Nice. So I know systems team has been working on familiars.
yes,
So how's that going?
it's still underways. The familiars and one other area are the last 2 things that have to be finished on 3.0. Familiars was Kimmy's project. I'm waiting to hear back from him. Trying to work with him on finishing it up. But the gist of it is that familiars will shift over from being just another item that you can have that amplifies your powers to being a companion, to being an actual being that fights alongside you, not actually amping your attack at all. So
Okay. So that'll actually be pretty cool. Similar to, so it's more so like the Silica and Pina situation.
yeah, pretty much.
Trying to make that more so the player has to do all the work, but they do have a companion that can help, that can aid them in certain ways.
Yeah.
Nice. So that seems like it's coming along pretty well, won't you say?
Yeah, definitely. I'm really excited because once Familiars and one other project is finished, then 3.0 is eventually going to be put into a review session where all staff will look over it, double check everything, make sure everything's good, and once everything's approved, then we should be releasing it.
Nice. Now, would you have any kind of idea of how close that would be, or like what the time frame would be?
I don't want to set a time because it's unsure.
Okay, that's fair.
There's been a lot of real life things going on lately, so that's why it's been delayed so much. But I will say that once it is ready, we will send an announcement about that. And what our plan is we want to release it one chunk at a time because it's so big.
If you want an idea, Word documents, the amount of pages, the words take to fill up a page. Think about was it 102 pages now? It's
117 pages.
Holy
yeah, so
that's pretty big. I haven't even
Yeah.
looked at that. As much as I have access to it,
essentially-
I just have not looked at it.
It is essentially an overhaul of the entire system. It's going over every single flaw that has been presented by every person and anything that's been found, and trying to recreate it or revamp it or rehaul it so that it's a better version. Taeyeon had described it as the ideal SAO-RPG. So,
Nice. I mean, it's gonna be very interesting once that becomes into place.
yes. And what I will say is that the first update we're definitely going to make the first update being a leveling update. We're changing the leveling system to experience.
Mm. That'll be a very interesting time to see how people react to that.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to run a couple of trials just before
Oh,
prior
yeah.
to release.
Like, this game's actually doing a leveling update means every single quest is going to be a field day for the for development team.
I mean,
Yeah.
once we establish what the rewards are going to be for certain tiers, then at that point they just have to determine whether or not the said quest is strong enough to be considered this reward or low enough to be this reward.
But
Really.
also, in terms of the stat numbers, would be crazy to have fun with for them.
True. Honestly, I'm gonna say, I think the main stat that's gonna be changed in quests and things like that is gonna be the damage. But I'm not gonna say why just yet.
Right.
Yeah. Get a little surprise for something, you know?
Right. So
Yeah.
because I don't want you to give too much of the 3.0 away. Why don't
Yeah,
you
I don't wanna be.
why don't you run over the hotfix?
Oh, yes, it's hotfix.
If you haven't looked at that already.
Yeah, that's something that came out with new updates and things. With one of the quick band-aid things that we're going to see if we might remove it, depending on how the community actually responds to Seal's thread when he creates it, is we made sure that boss raids can't be done by a small strike team for the moment. Like, you can't just have like a 4-man team and say gung ho, have fun, because this is what we have on site at the moment.
Yeah.
The actual floor bosses and such are the things that everyone is gunning for. Like, that's the only thing that's striving. And you obviously create your plots, but that's not like the main thing on site, really.
Yeah.
Everyone's going for that frontline,
Yeah.
fight a boss experience.
Like everything has the big thing, the big enjoyment that people have, and I feel like floor bosses are that really.
Yeah.
In terms of the other things on the FX update, well, I think one of the big things people will be happy about is Nature's Treasure being back.
Yes.
Again, thanks to Seal for proving the flaw in that.
Yes. Just
Yeah.
spamming fishing over and over again.
Fist to win.
It happens.
So we have Nature's Treasure back with some new rulings, some new updates to it to make it plausible for everyone to have like a good gaining time for things. Because unless you're a good scout like Itzal, finding things can be annoying. Nature's Treasure is your sleuthing people. It's a fun, easy thing to do.
We also changed AOE energy costs because with the rule where you have to roll for every single mob and you're paying the full cost, it was just too expensive, and area of effect DPS players were just losing their energy too quickly. So we changed it so it's a smaller set amount, and then +2 energy cost for every target hit.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Nice. So nice little update to that. Nice little update there.
I'm just happy about the update.
No kidding. So Itzal
And-
was. Oh, go ahead. If you want, have anything to
So
add.
we have one last thing I think Itzal might know the best about, or what's in this case actually Taeyeon, is the kitchen update that we had.
yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about it?
So-
Itzal? Just guy.
Yeah, I got it. So essentially, what the kitchen for a house buff what it was able to do was you could take materials and craft any food item you wanted, only one in the thread. And the complaint was that basically got rid of the need for a cook profession at all, and they were right. So we've changed it so that instead of creating a food buff, you can increase a single food item by 1 slot. So, like, let's say you had a tier 2 mitigation food. you give it another enhancement slot, and it gives 3 slots of mitigation instead of 2.
Hmm.
So,
All right. It's actually a nice little neat little change.
of course, it is capped to tier 1, so you can't have like an extra tier 2 or a tier 3 buff. It would just be a tier 1.
Okay.
Which is fine for me because I can get a 3 LD item and give it that +1, a +4 LD, then add that to my stacked LD already. So
Yeah.
Again, here's Scout of Aincrad right here, ladies and gentlemen.
So anything else you want to run over with the hotfix, or?
I think
ready to move
that's
on?
everything we want to say about it.
All right. So as you guys have recently saw, Itzal has been named the systems GM. So it came down from one of our members. Itzal, what's your plan of action as the systems GM?
well, what do you mean by plan of action?
Like, do you have a set agenda you're trying to accomplish being in charge of systems, or are you just kind of like taking care of whatever comes across your desk?
There was already a lot on the desk when I was made GM, so it's basically just trying to finish 3.0 as efficiently and quickly as possible. Then there's also another project, which is basically unique skills have been work in progress for a very long time now.
Yeah.
And since with 3.0, there's a lot changing, and I was given the assignment by Tam before I became a GM, so I continued working on that. But essentially, I've been working on the unique skills themselves, their sword arts, their abilities, and I personally still want to get the unique skills, so I haven't developed how to get them. One of the GMs who doesn't care about getting the unique skills will be working on that. So,
Okay, that's good. It's a way to keep people accountable and make sure no one
Yes.
abuses the system,
Yeah.
as previously done before.
it was always my thing. I kept ever since I found out about unique skills on the site, which was really early on the site. I started shooting for it, and staff kept telling me, "Okay, so if you want to get the unique skill, you need to do this." And so I'd follow their instructions, and then right before I got it, they would change it, and how you got it, and they changed it like 3 times on me. And then the third time they're like, "Okay, no, you can't get it. We're locking them up." I'm like, "Dang it!"
Yeah, it was they were dealt with before was not in the correct order or
Yeah.
correctly handled at all. Many
So-
staff teams ago.
So we're planning to, once they're finished, release it, let people know how to get them, and then basically just not touch them.
Yeah, that's probably for the best. The hardest thing is going to be working them into the system though, because they're unique. They're supposed to be like different and a little bit stronger than the other skills. So I mean, it's just kind of hard
Yeah.
to work around and get all the nitty gritty stuff taken care of.
Yeah. Well, as for any other plans, once 3.0 is out, there's 1 or 2 things that I was planning to add afterwards, once people adjusted everything. But besides that, it's just keeping an eye out for any flaws or errors and just fixing those up as people find them. That's
Okay.
really about it.
Nice. So I mean, there's definitely a lot to look forward to with the upcoming times of with Itzal as behind the wheel of the systems team.
So much pressure.
You do fine.
So as we mentioned in the previous podcast, we are looking for staff for the lore development team to work on like a timeline or just like a storyline to overarch all of the Aincrad.
Yeah.
So if you are interested in
we need
that,
stories.
fill out an application, send that to me or Joe May for the time being, and we will get that discussed and situated. And we are also looking for staff for the player support team. If you want any more information on what that job entails or how to go about applying, please see the staff wanted thread or the look here to join staff or whatever it was called. And you can either contact myself or Hestia.
Yeah, hi. I'm the one you go to if you need some help.
So, just a little cap on the Minecraft server. Nothing has really been done recently as people have exams and wrapping up schools and whatnot. The starting town is about 70% complete. The floorboard has been fully completed, and work has begun underway for the second town on the first floor. We are looking for builders, so I mean, if you are interested, you can contact myself and apply on the site, and we will get you in there. So, moving on, any cool threads happening recently in our world?
This idea was sponsored by a player who actually were kind of curious about like sponsoring such threads and ideas, and I have to give credit to Taeyeon honestly, because she's did a thread for a character, well Taeyeon, again 'cause she's queen of all, she's gonna be serious sometimes, and her thread is the quest was calming the soul, 1-4-6 facing demons and all that, and honestly that's like one of the best things I've ever read. Like she combined everything from her character's past and what she wants for her character's future, and made it all to like one beautiful story that's kind of rounds out Taeyeon's in character, kind of not the most friendliest personality, to her like slowly opening up, which is really nice. It was really nice read. I have to give props to Taeyeon for that.
Nice. Is that the only thing that's kind of been highlighted, or are there some
Um,
journals that we're gonna want to discuss?
Honestly, in terms of journals, that's more so been Strider working on that more mainly recently because I've always been asleep when people are joining apparently, which kind of sucks. Yeah, so I don't have any journals I could say highlighting as such or any other threads because I don't think I've seen anything that's more grand spectacular in terms of other threads besides Tae's.
Okay, nice. So we have had some questions submitted. One of them has been from Froppy. Throwing knives, if they are possible, and maybe some new sword arts, since what is available now may not cut it for for future bosses. So on the topic of throwing knives, Itzal, has there been any plan to kind of work them into the system as they are a canon item?
We are working on a range system. We are working on the weapons and all that kind of stuff. We plan for them to be unique in the sense that they are better suited for rogues. Because we're part of 3.0's. We're trying to make it balanced for DPS players, tanks, rogues, scouts, supporters, and everything else like that. So we're hoping that throwing knives will help balance it for rogues.
Okay. Nice. So I mean that'll be pretty fun to try and work those into the system.
Yeah.
It has also been mentioned about adding scythes. I know it's been shown in the canon that there are like the what is it? The fatal scythe uses a scythe. So I mean it doesn't take out the possibility that there are scythes in the game, but you just never really see a player using a scythe. What are your thoughts on that?
All right. So sword arts are one of the things getting revamped, and a scythe works similar. It works a little bit similar to the way you would use an axe. The blade's just in a different position, and it would ultimately have the same effect. So therefore, axe would be similar to an axe if once 3.0 is released and players see the sword arts and everything else like that. If you have any suggestions or you come up with a way to do sword arts for the scythe, I'll be all ears. Let me know and we can talk about it. But until then, I would say that you can create a one-handed axe or two-handed axe and have it described as a scythe. I don't see any problem with that. So.
Okay. And that was brought to you by Vigilon. So thank you for the wonderful question. If anyone else that's listening has any questions or something they want to discuss, please feel free to drop it in the chat below or send it in the Discord in the podcast channel. Let's see here. So, anything else you guys wanted to touch on or discuss?
Well, besides the full trophy being worked on, we do have people working on 424, and it's looking pretty nice. We actually have the boss set up for it, and we actually have the floor, and I believe even quests and points of interest being worked on, so getting a stamp on it of approval. So that's pretty nice.
Nice.
Yeah, and if anyone's ever wondering, 424 is a canon force. You could just look it up. It's called Panavesa. So it's no really surprise what it would be looking like.
Yeah.
But this is something I think everyone's at least kind of excited for, to have something actually canonized for a location of it. The Coliseum. Because, you know,
Oh yeah,
players love the duels.
you'll be able to host a nice Battle of the Blades tournament going back to the days.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Was it back in the days of Zelius?
Yep, those are the fun days. Those are the days that gave me the most stress, to be honest.
Actually, speaking of Zelrius, Taeon had sent because like that was one of the things I wanted to work on was duels and tournament rules, and she sent me Zelrius's idea for or ideas for the tournaments and how to do it. And I've actually used so many of his ideas. So,
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong. They are good. They are really good ideas, and he spent a lot of time working on those ideas. So I mean, he gets props for that. It's just outside of those ideas, it just got a little bit of a handful.
Yeah.
I could imagine. Yeah, and of course you have Beatbox, as you always like to mention per podcast. He's working on the 425 floor, so that's something to look forward to, people. The benchmark floor, where things are meant to be getting more difficult.
Yeah.
So I'm personally excited to see how, I guess Ruby, because that's what we call it now, Ruby,
Yeah.
is going to do for the boss / floor design and all that. It's gonna be an interesting time. I'm pretty certain of it.
Oh yeah.
It's like all the
Yeah,
beatbox.
it's kind of hard for me because I've known him so long as Beatbox, so it's just kind of
Yeah.
Yeah.
hard for me to
I can't-
transition and
I
go
can't
into
stop
Ruby.
calling him Beatbox. Ruby just doesn't fit for me.
Exactly.
I know, it's like-
That's nicely my dilemma. That's why I put Beatbox and then parentheses Ruby on the when he's the co-host for the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like everyone just knows him as Beatbox, but when you try to get the short the name down to just Beat, then you get the confusion because
Right.
there's Beat, the supposed to be real there, and then Beat.
I remember when
Beatbox.
Beat came on and Beatbox was like, "Dang it, you stole my name! How dare you!"
Oh yeah. Those were
So
actually fun.
pissed.
That was actually a fun time.
Yeah, it was. Oh boy,
Uh,
that was hilarious.
well, on that note, looks like no one has anything to discuss. So I want to say a big thank you to those who came and listened to the podcast today. And thank you to Hestia and Itzal for joining me on this wonderful day.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Yeah, it's been fun. Finally got to get both of you on the podcast after a couple of
Yeah.
failed attempts.
Yee. I think the best part is like having me and Itzal is like we usually a tag duo in anything that we're doing together.
Yeah,
So,
that was very beneficial in this part. So
Yeah.
again, thank you to the two of you for coming on, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
You too.
Hope you do too, talking. Hope the rest of the community has a wonderful day also.
So a little quick tidbit as I transition here into the thanks for watching. You'll see a list of the fallen people. So hope you enjoy and have a great day.